Okay, so now we're back and we just finished sewing this part and we did the zigzag. So now what we want to do is turn it inside out. Then all we have to do is the waist and then the hem. Look, doesn't it look like pajama pants or shorts if you guys are making them? That's exciting. All right, so now we're going to take our sewing pants, our pajama pants, over to our ironing board. You can only be one at a time, so let's just plan on one being at one watching and one sewing. Ironing. All right, so first I already did this, so you're gonna have to open up your seams. It's called a quick press. I just did one on that side. You open it up so it's not folded. I like to use the steam. I just put it up there because I have the ledge. Okay, so, but you guys can do it this way, it's fine. Just don't burn yourselves. Okay, so now I have my sewing gauge or my seam gauge. I have it set to 1/2. But what I wanna do is, all I wanna do is turn it in slightly and then give it a press. So let's see how much that is. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So it's a little bit less than 1/2. Set it to be consistent. Let's see what this side is. Okay, so I'm actually going to probably do it the distance of this Joann's one just because I have it here. But if you guys can do a tinier one, that's better. So we'll do 1/2. Okay, now, once you have it flat, don't burn yourselves. You're just gonna do a quick press again. You don't wanna pin it because pinning with ironing doesn't work because it's plastic, right? The little balls on the end. All right, same thing, and you don't wanna forget the sides. So what you're doing is you're kind of like, instead of pins, you are folding and pressing. I'm gonna actually do the sides now because that was a little trickier. Be careful if your iron's there. I don't want you guys burning yourselves. All right, so just make sure you do the quick press all the way around. And now you want to make it for your casing for your 1-inch elastic that you already measured. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to do the same thing. You are going to tuck it. And be careful with this. We need it to be 1 1/2 at least. So some of you guys might want to do it a little bit longer, 1 3/4 maybe, just to allow enough room for the elastic. Because if you sew it wrong and then you can't get the elastic in, it's trouble. So I just did 1 1/2 because that's good for me. 1 1/2. And this is the part that's probably the trickiest part. So you probably just want to go slow. I mean, what's the rush? If you got all the way this far and then you ruin it, that's gonna be a big mistake. I don't really like to use my seam ripper. Let me measure that again because I want to make sure that's a full 1 1/2. Because see the elastic? Do you guys see the idea? It's going to be fed in there, so you want it to be wide enough. Okay, so you're going to go all the way around and do the same thing on this side. And then I'm going to mark my opening. I'm folding real quick, and then I'm going to mark it, and then we'll be ready to go over to the machine. Okay, so now that I've gotten that nice and pressed, I could probably just go ahead and press the sides like that. And it's all tucked in. Okay, before we go over to the machine, we need to do a marking of 2 inches. And I don't think it really matters, but I like to do it over here where it's going to where I'm gonna start and stop. So that's 2-inch opening. I'm gonna mark it with my pencil, or if you have tailor's chalk, you can just mark it with that. And that's gonna be my opening. So you need to make sure, you could even put a pin, that might be better. I tell students this. Put a pin or put a double pin to show where you are not going to sew it. I tell you, this is one of the biggest problems with this project, is this is the opening you have to have in order to feed the elastic. So go ahead and put 2 pins here and 2 pins here. So you're gonna go all the way around. I'm gonna show you that. You're gonna sew on the 15 down here. So let's go over, you wanna go over to the machine?